Call to order the regular meeting of Independent School District 695, Chisholm, Minnesota. For the last time, Lisa, will you do roll call?
Director Lavasada?
Here.
Director Rice? Here. Director Provenzano? Director Lappy?
Here.
Director Raha?
Here.
And Chair Casey.
Here. Thank you. Anybody wishing to address the board? Now would be the time.
I'm Brittany Larson. This isn't something that's available at the moment, but it is being passed through legislation. I just wanted you guys to be aware of it. I know state funding is in question and everything right now, but it's an outdoor program that aims at inclusion of everybody being able to go to these outdoor programs, and it's 4th through senior year. And that provides a whole grant for transportation, for overnight stay at these outdoor camps. I know I'm just kind of rambling now, but all the information's right in there. April, they did further pass this, and by next year, they're hoping to have enough money to get this ball rolling. So I'm gonna just keep an eye on it, and I would hope that maybe you guys might be interested in applying for this grant so that we can have better access and offer our kids this opportunity to be able to go out in nature and learn. And I think our closest one is it Leech Lake on the back of the map? That would be, or Rockridge, or not Rockridge, Wolfridge? Wolfridge, sorry. And the transportation would be included, so it would be a full all-around thing that grant would include.
Are these just kind of like day trips?
I think they would provide all different kinds of options. So, yeah, I was excited about it. I wanted you guys to see it, just so maybe I mention it again when it comes through and is approved, hopefully.
Oh, that's great. Good opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on, we have a guest tonight, Mr. Tyler White. Tyler is our new head boys basketball coach.
Welcome.
Tyler, do you want to come up and just introduce yourself, give a little
Yeah, I can
background?
introduce myself and give a little about myself. So my name is.
Yeah. You're joining us at 5:03 p.m. Maybe not.
My name is Tyler Voigt. I'm currently a teacher over at the Bridge to Independence program, part of the NLC in Virginia. A little bit about my background. I'm from Mosinee, Wisconsin. Been playing basketball ever since I could remember. Played all the way through high school. I played 2 years collegiately at UW Superior. My career was cut short due to injuries, at which point I started transitioning over to coaching. I spent 2 years coaching as a student assistant at UW Stevens Point. I then went on to help with various AAU programs, high school programs. I'm currently also involved with a program called Point Guard College, or PGC. They run camps around the country for youth ages 4th grade all the way to the pro level, really focusing on teaching the game, thinking the game, doing the classroom work, and thinking outside of just the athletic part of it, and really working on just becoming better people along with better athletes. And then my most recent coaching position was the year before, I guess this year that's ending now, this past year. I was out as an assistant at the North Dakota State College of Science, their Division I junior college, where we made the national tournament and were able to upset in the first round as the lowest seed, making it bit of a run there. So
Sweet.
that's kind of my basketball background. And
Good.
Great.
any questions or anything?
Oh, appreciate you coming in. Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Absolutely, yeah, nice to meet you all.
Tyler, I do have
Thanks for
another
the
question.
face to the name.
Yeah,
I do have a question for you. Do you plan on any early meetings with the team?
yeah, we're actually in the works with that right now. I believe our hope is Thursday as we talk to meet everybody, as far as players and everybody that's interested in that, and start working on some summer stuff. I know I'll look into trying to reach out to parents and getting something set up with that as well, to get everybody, again, to know me, put a face to the name and everything with everything that's going on. hopefully go from there then.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's
Thank you.
exactly what I want to hear. Welcome,
Thank you.
welcome to our program, welcome to the school,
Yeah, thank you.
and wish you the utmost success. As you well know, we have plenty of it, so no pressure. Reports, Travis, do you wanna do
Just
anything?
quick. We're hosting playoffs for baseball right now, so the team's playing right now, but things are going well, so I snuck out. I just wanted to touch base on my agenda item for you guys, the sidewalk sale that I wanna do. And, basically, like it says in the memo, it's really just cleaning the closet. We're transitioning to a new gym. I don't want that space filled with clutter. We don't need helmets from 10 or 12 years ago. We don't need baseballs from 20 years ago. We don't need jerseys from 50 years ago. So I've asked the coaches if they would go through, clean out what they don't need or what's not current. And then, that is the stuff that I will put out on the sidewalk sale, along with some Blue Street clothing and some extra stuff that I have. But that's really the gist of it. So, I was not aware originally that you had to declare that surplus equipment. So my apologies for not coming to you before I, posted about it, but
Well, I think the problem was the fact that you had said it was going right back to your athletic fund when it, in fact, it's all school. So it was like, where are the funds going?
Yeah.
That's mine. And my other question is, when you're having this sidewalk sale, who's gonna be in charge of the money? I'm real concerned about that. There's just gonna be probably so much money, I mean, being transferred, and I just wanna make sure that we have some kind of dual control over that.
Mhm.
I think that's just important,
sure. So my plan is me,
yeah.
and
But you're
then-
only one.
But I'm one, yeah, so I can certainly have another advisor
I would
Um,
definitely try to have another,
do that. Yep, I have no issue with that. And then I would just use the current, starting pot that we use for all of our sports.
Yeah.
So it's consistent, it matches up with what we have always used, and then that gets sent over to Noah,
Mhm.
unless you want me to do something different, but.
No, sounds good.
I was excited to buy an old Blue Streak helmet.
Yeah, the football helmets, they're gonna sell like hotcakes.
Actually,
Yeah.
it's old.
Yeah, although I have some wool, I have like some wool, legit wool with Chisholm on it from back, I don't know. But, so, we'll see, some of that stuff might
I
fly.
have my dad's from Chisholm. I don't know how I got it, but you know, when he died, it all ended up at my house.
Yeah,
I don't know how he got it either.
Any questions for Travis? Any other questions for Travis?
What's the sale again?
I think I'm gonna wait till August.
Oh,
And that way, it kind of before school and, you know,
Everybody starts
do that.
Well,
So
they
we
can clean
can't
out,
really-
they can clean out.
You should do it during Doc Graham days.
Yeah, well, as
Sell
long
it
as,
at the parade.
as long as we can get in the facility, I don't know how
We got
long,
people
I don't
in
know how
town.
long
That's
the
actually not bad.
construction is gonna be, but.
Little nostalgia,
Yeah,
drama
Yeah.
business.
yeah,
That's
right?
true.
Yeah, well, it's exciting, and then next year, when we transition to the new facility, you know, we'll have like an alumni basketball, because it'll be the last of the current gym before we really move into the new gym, so I've had actually quite a few people say, oh, we should have an alumni basketball game, and
That's
you know,
cool, yeah.
I know high school league has certain rules you have to follow with that stuff, but yeah, so anyway,
Oh, great, awesome.
Thank you.
Alright.
Thank you, Travis.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ms. Markey.
Item number 5, can I entertain a motion to approve the agenda as is?
I'll make the motion, support.
Motion by Director Rhonda Sauter, support by Director Lappy. Any discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, motion to approve the consent agenda, and these are the minutes of the May 12th, 2025 regular meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Director Parati,
Support.
support by Director Rice. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7, personnel. Item 8, motion to accept the resignation request from Jennifer Zabatnik Martin as the speech advisor and senior class advisor effective May 30th, 2025.
All motion.
Motion by Director Raha,
Support.
support by Director Lappy. Any discussion?
Do we have somebody in that position?
Speech for senior class advisors it's co-advisors. So
Okay.
Mrs. Crottle is the other co-advisor, so she will just take it over fully.
Okay.
Unless she chooses not to, but I had a quick conversation with her. Speech will just open up for anybody to apply, yeah.
I'd like to thank Ms. CM for her time and efforts that she put in to both positions. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, motion to accept the resignation request from Lisa Aldrich, District Administrative Assistant, effective June 4th, 2025.
So made.
Motion by Director Lappy,
Support.
supported by Director Ron Simon.
That part.
Any discussion?
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, we can do that with you.
Thank you very much. Wish you the best of luck.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries. Item 8 under business. Motion to approve the contract for leadership of community education between District 701 Public Schools and District 695 Public Schools effective August 21st, 2025 through June 30th, 2027.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Director Prati Simon,
Support.
support by Director Raha. Any discussion?
Yeah, just Mitchell Kirkloos has done a good job with it, and he really does a nice job, there's no change in the contract. We'll just move forward as, it's just basically keeping things as is, but yeah, it's gone really well with it, he's been a good resource.
And I might be mistaken, but, or forgetful, but can we get a report from him every once in a while?
Lean on it, I probably could report on it too, I am on that committee, you know,
And we meet quarterly.
yeah. But I could always generate a little report from it.
That'd be great.
Yeah, you just circulate the email, like what's new, whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
sure.
great.
And I just found out that he is a brother of one of our educators. So I didn't even put 2 and 2 together.
Ah.
That's funny.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, motion to adopt the 2025-2026 resolution for memberships in Minnesota State High School League as presented.
All motion.
Motion by Director Rhonda Sauter,
Support.
support by Director Raha. Roll call, Lisa.
Director Rhonda Sauter,
Yes.
Director Rice,
Yes.
Director Kardi Simon,
Yes.
Director Lappy,
Yes.
Director Raha,
Yes.
Chair Casey.
Yes. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on. Item C, motion to approve the purchase from Apple Store for Education Institution in the amount of $63,834 for computers for the 2025-2026 school year as presented.
Make a motion.
Support.
Motion by Director Crowdy Simon, support by Director Lappy. Any discussion?
Yeah, just so you're aware, this will get paid over 3 years. Most of the, I wouldn't say most of them, a lot of them are kind of at their end of life. Take them off the charger. A lot of the teachers and myself, we have monitors, but if you take it off the charger, it's not lasting very long. We should be able to get a little money back, maybe hopefully 25% of that back as we turn in our old ones, but there's no guarantee there either, so we might be able to get $15,000-$20,000 back. 20,000 if we're doing well, maybe 15 might be more realistic, but it'll be about 22,000, 21,000 a year, it looks like.
Maybe it would help if we turned in ours. Never use it
Oh,
anyway.
that's true.
I kind of doubt it,
Yeah.
but you just never know, we could all turn ours in.
Find mine, that's what you're.
I never got one.
Oh, you
It has a tractor.
No.
It's in the
Tractor.
It's in the house somewhere.
Probably been dead for 2 years.
Yeah, mine's been done, it's in this nice little bag.
Mine is, yes, it's a nice little bag, yeah. I use it once in a while, but usually, yeah.
Forget about it too.
Meeting it?
That's special.
Well, you
Any-
guys, we gotta keep the bill down, so you're not getting them now.
No, we're good.
Because that's like having a computer for everything, when you can just go on one and just access it, so it's like
Yeah.
you forget to even open it up,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I wouldn't even know how to use it because it's not the same computer I have anyway,
No,
so we're
I'm
good.
bad at it.
No, I didn't.
Trying to help the girls with their stuff.
The mouse is off.
You know, I'm gonna go down and go up and up.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item D, the approval of the food service management contract with INAC from July 1, 2025 to June 30th, 2026 as presented.
A motion.
I'll support.
Motion by Director Crowdy Simon, support by Director Waha. Any discussion?
No changes, they've been good, so we're good, solid, and, we do well in that thing too.
Are they still going with the free or?
Free for everybody?
Yeah. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item E, adopting the fiscal year 2026 budget as presented.
Yes, thank you. So in your packet, page 1 is the summary of all the different funds. And then went into a little bit more detail in funds 1, 3, and 5. Those are our major operating funds, so just wanted to provide a little bit more information on those numbers. But we'll kind of just go through it line by line, starting with the Fund 1, our general fund. Total revenues, $10,368,000 compared to expenditures of $10,354,000 for a surplus of $14,000. There were some increases with our revenue this year, mainly being with the general education formula increase in compensatory revenue. There's an increase in our state special ed and included the projected funding from the MTSS grant, but also had increases in expenses primarily related to wages and benefits. Fund 2 is our food service. INAC has done a really good job of managing this fund for us. We've had a surplus, I think, the last couple of years in this, so the revenue was $450,000, expenditures $450,000, and included in those expenditures is $60,000 cushion built in for equipment to go into the new building. Fund 3, transportation, total revenue $353,000, versus expenses of $527,000. Our revenue is pretty consistent with what it was last year. And what expenses are included in this fund would be primarily our bus leases, repairs, fuel, and then the staffing costs. Fund 4, community service. So with Hibbing's leadership and our staff, they've done a good job of managing this fund as well. Total revenues of $243,000 versus expense of $246,000. So a deficit of $3,000 there. If you recall, we were in a deficit when our last audit came back in this fund, but we're able to cut that a little bit there, mainly related to the school readiness and ECFE. But are expecting a little more revenue related to the Pathways scholarships funding and the school readiness fee schedule to come out next year. Fund 5, capital, our revenue is projected at $147,000 versus expense of $546,000. So a deficit of $399,000. So this is page 5 of the attachments, but our operating capital revenue was reduced in FY26, mainly due to the 2024 A bond that we approved in last September. So the intention with that is that funding is instead goes to Fund 7 and to cover the debt payment for that. With the thinking being that we'll be realizing cost savings once the 2 buildings are no longer operating. So for this year, we're not realizing the full effect of having those 2 buildings shut down, but we do have to make the payment on it. So we would have a reduction in expenses in FY27, realizing that. Fund 6, that's our building construction fund. The estimated expenditures related to the construction project for next year, 20 million. And then I just put in revenue at 20 million as well, so it doesn't skew the numbers one way or another. Fund 7, that's our debt service and the revenue that's allocated to make payments on that. I did on page 5 of the attachments, just for your information, put in what our different payments are. Fund 9 is our scholarship fund. That's a balanced budget, 13,000 projected for revenue and expense for next year. Fund 11 is our student activity, also a balanced budget. This is related to money in and out for our student activity accounts. And then Fund 18 is also related to scholarships, and that's money in and out for these scholarships. Only difference from Fund 9 is that the entity funding this has the decision in how it gets spent versus Fund 9, the district has that decision. But they're basically the same thing. Fund 45, the OPEB irrevocable trust, total revenue, 150,000, that's related to the interest earnings on the balance. And then expenditures of 292,000 is the insurance, portion of the insurance premiums that we pay for our retirees. So the deficit there of 141,000. And then I just included the OPEB debt service, Fund 47. This will no longer be an active fund for us as we paid off that debt this year.
Okay, it's used to pay retiree health insurance benefits, correct? So are we gonna be taking any more money out of that trust to cover? Yes,
Yep.
but we don't know how much that's gonna be, but you got 291,000 here, so you got a pretty good educated guess. So we have to take money out of that fund so we make sure we cover that, because that's what it's designed for. Any idea when that's gonna happen?
Well, so for this last year, I had just done it, I think in February or March,
Yeah, okay.
So it'll probably be, we'll reimburse it once we know what the final number was,
Okay,
if that makes sense.
it makes sense, thank you. Okay,
Noah, when did you say the bond revenues were, when did they start?
So for the 2024 A1,
Yeah, okay, so it's 24.
so I think our payment is in February of 26. So we have to make a payment on it next year, but not really realizing the cost savings of.
So I'm going all the way back to fiscal year 23 and I see revenues of 400,000 versus this year. I mean, that's a $250,000 difference. Any thoughts on that? I know that's before you.
Yeah, I know there would have been a smaller portion in 24, we got some funding from St. Louis County related to the CARES or COVID relief that ended up in this Fund 5. And that's why it's a little bit higher in the year-to-date number of April as well here. But that was 750,000 total. It'll be split between those 2 years.
Any other questions for Mr. Kazar? So the board, as you can see, at this time will have a significant deficit that will have to address through other resources, for lack of a better term. I'm sure Mr. Kazar is going to continue to massage the numbers with Mr. Morrison's help. It's not real pretty. Any other discussion? Did we have a motion for that?
No, I think it was being presented.
Okay.
Yeah. Motion in a second.
Motion by Director Kreisheim,
I'll make a motion.
all support.
support by Director Rockoff.
Yep.
Any other discussion?
Thanks, Noah.
Thanks, no.
Yeah, I wish I would have gotten this a little sooner because I just got mine today. So I'm
Well, not to be
pleased
the-
about that.
Not to be the dead horse on the OPEB, but it shows up as a debt, as Bob indicated, but we do have money that you'll be able to pull from the only place that it can be used from to cover some of that, or to cover what the payment is.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
so that deficit is a little bit misleading, I mean, not necessarily a deficit, because we do have the money in the trust deficit.
Yeah,
So that cuts that down, more to like the 300,000 versus a half a million.
Yeah.
So I just saw, Bob brings it up every year, and so I think we finally got it after, I don't know, year 12. But I feel, I do appreciate it, it does look
It looks
bad
skewed.
it looks bad on
Yeah.
paper, but we do have the money that was levied for
Yeah.
years, and that's why we can pay that open, so.
Correct.
And that's why we started using it.
Yes, because we hadn't fully funded it and we have
Yeah,
to use it
we have to use it
that's
for
the only thing it
only
can be
thing.
used for, so.
Thank you, Simone Zunich.
Don't ever leave me in charge of.
No, you will get no penny candy, no one will,
No.
if Jackie's in charge of the budget.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item F. Approve the fundraising request from Travis Vaki, and I'm just gonna change the verbiage on this just a little bit. To declare surplus equipment and sell surplus equipment. And then we declare it as surplus and motion to sell it at the same time.
Okay.
So I'd like to entertain a motion for that.
I'll make a motion with the adjustment.
Motion by Director Lappy,
Support.
what was that?
It's
Support by
Rice.
Director Rice. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item G, approve the resolution to accept $8,000 in donations from the Owens Foundation.
Okay. Support.
Motion by Director Lappy, is that?
Yes.
Support by Director Anasazi. Is that right?
Yeah.
I got that right, okay. This is resolution 25-05-27. Lisa, could you roll call, please?
Director Lavasada?
Yes.
Director Rice?
Yes.
Director Cardy
Yes.
Director Rapp?
Yes.
Director Raha?
Yes,
Chair Casey?
Yes. I'd just like to thank those members of the Owens Foundation, Jim Highmark, Dr. Mike Heck, Chisholm Guy, Jack Ryan, Todd Skaya, Chisholm, Jamie Arla, and Dr. Paul, John Rubber. We still have a request in with them for additional funding. We'll probably be meeting with them in, I think their next funding cycle is in June or July, so we'll keep you informed on that. Item H is just a second reading of policy 533 wellness. As you can see on there, Lisa was very good in putting what the changes were. Looks more like caretaking than anything, nothing of substance, so. Moving on to item 9, discussion, board.
I think it's, we made committees, but we did not make committees for negotiations, and we have, yeah, for 2, so we don't have to do it tonight, I've talked to both of the large groups, just, and they are not wanting to negotiate tomorrow or anything, so we got some time. So we probably should have one for Education Minnesota for our ASME group, and then if the board wants to have one, we have a handful of annual employees, maybe one board member with me, maybe, or 2, or we wanna do it, so.
I'd be willing to sit on any and all of them that we want to.
I prefer not to be on the teachers just because my daughter's a teacher, but I would definitely, I know plenty about what asked me, I'd be happy to do that. And at will, I have done both, so. Whatever.
And I've done that will and ASME too, so, or not at will, I've done ASME and
And
teachers.
Yeah.
So I'm fine doing it too, if anybody needs somebody.
We just split up, I mean, pretty much.
Yeah. I was on the administration with you.
Yeah.
That's right, there's administration to the principals.
Okay, so you've got a handful of names?
Yeah, did you get that?
Select who you,
Well, should we just form a group now,
Yeah.
and just, let's,
Start with admin.
start with the admin or admin?
I thought you said admin.
I said both.
That's the teacher one.
Teachers.
Okay, teachers.
Board chair, did you? Okay.
Oh, I can.
Hard.
Okay. Then, we'll put Jackie on it.
Casey
2 or 3, much.
I'm cool, yeah, I can do
Shelley,
that.
you,
Sure.
okay, so we'll put,
Teachers, can you do that? I'm related to half of them, but, like,
it is pretty difficult to find
Yeah.
no conflicts of interest.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it
Mhm.
really is.
I just worked with them for so many years and my
Yeah.
daughter on it, I'd rather not do it.
Okay, how about ask me?
Me?
No.
I can, if no one. It's fine.
I'll do admin or at will.
We probably just need two
I can help with ad will.
at will.
Should we, for admin and at will, should we just have the same group?
Yeah, I can be part of that.
They're real small.
Yeah, they are, usually I think they were too, and
Okay,
those
so-
guys didn't vote, so.
Mark and Daniel for that. I'll have Cindy and Jackie for ASPE. Did we want a third or we want to go with two is fine too?
I think 2 is fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me just be clear, so we're reading this right, I can always give you the fact. So admin, Mark, Jackie, Shelley, ASPE, Cindy, Jackie, at admin,
And that one.
administration.
Okay.
I just did it to myself, and that will, Mark and Daniel for that.
Okay.
Sound okay?
Perfect.
Okay,
If we could still send out an email and then
yeah,
you'll let us know times and dates that we're meeting with those.
yeah,
And they haven't, I don't think they've yet asked to, or.
they have.
They have asked.
Yep.
They've sent their initial.
Okay.
They did,
Alright.
but
But didn't set any dates yet or anything.
correct.
Alright.
I'm thinking later in the summer, late summer.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Kind of relays to me, so once the legislation's done completely.
Well, yeah, otherwise.
And then,
Negotiate.
Outdoor,
then
swimming for all, and so do we want to pass this on to, like Teresa or something?
Yeah, we could, yeah, or the principals, or myself,
Yeah.
I'll take a look at it.
Okay.
it doesn't sound like it's into effect yet, but it's something.
And I hadn't heard anything about this in the last.
Definitely would be great for this area.
Yeah, we've got the.
I remember doing Wolf Ridge in college. It was part of our college class where we had to go there and just the learning experience was.
Well, we're close.
We had some summer camps that one year, where did we get that funding from? I don't see, 5, 6 years ago, but summer camps, and it was, most of it was really good, and they did a bunch of different things in the summer. This is obviously, looks like it's more during the school year, but,
Yeah.
great experiences.
So much of it is in the north anyway, just families.
So, I do wanna bring up another subject, Vivian, we met with Vivian, they're asking, they have asked us to host both the boys and girls soccer programs. And
Host like little kids or?
no,
Like
varsity,
take on
so
the
we would
program.
take on the program and we would be the.
We're the host, it'd be Chisholm hitting up Chisholm.
And why is that? Are there more Chisholm kids than Hibbie kids in it?
No.
I'm super confused. I talked to Marcin about this, but.
Gosh, am I at liberty to?
Oh, yeah, I think we need to have a board discussion.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can tell you right, and me and Daniel have already had a discussion.
Yeah.
We're kind of opposite ends, just to be
Yeah.
perfectly honest, and that's fine, but.
It has some cost that the city giving is charging them for use of facilities. And obviously, they would probably like to reduce that cost because we know what they just went through. So that's it in a nutshell.
And we don't have a soccer team.
No, so
Well,
that's where I wish
we
Travis
have-
was here for that conversation.
So
We
that-
don't, but we're in the
we have-
process.
We have,
I mean, areas where they practice soccer, I know, but not like an actual.
I have several concerns, I guess, because in all actuality, it's just not one team coming over, it's 4, at least 4. Varsity, junior varsity boys, varsity, junior varsity girls. We do not have the facilities to then placate varsity football, JV football, 7th and 8th grade football. I don't know how you would work it. Mr. Vake and I have talked a little bit. The possibility of renovation of the Pergo field, because that's not being used for anything at this point.
Is
that
that
the
the one by the Lincoln or
No, that's the,
By the baseball field.
Oh, by
Yeah.
the fields, oh,
The
gosh.
stadium,
but I think.
Well, it does 7th, 8th grade.
yeah, they do junior high.
Junior high baseball usually.
Junior high
Spring.
baseball.
Spring.
That's
only.
spring
Fall.
though, this is
Yeah.
fall,
I
soccer's
didn't
fall.
realize soccer was fall. I
Yeah,
thought it was spring.
High school league
There are
is,
some
Yeah.
issues, there are some issues on that. Obviously, we take it over, we're in charge of getting the coaches, getting referees, things of that nature. I'll say it, possibly new uniforms.
And what are they like gonna just say, well, oh well, too bad we can't have it anymore?
No, they didn't say that at all, they're just, no, that did not come up in the conversation.
But these are the things that are just running through my.
Yeah, no, it's kind
They're trying to reduce their costs, bottom line, bottom line.
Mhm.
And anything that's
cutting
not
the pro-
productive for them, you know, if they're not making money at it, they're gonna wanna get rid of it. That's my opinion, but,
or if it's costing money.
yeah.
So I had a conversation with Travis about it and asked how many kids are in the program. And he said that between boys and girls, there's 80 kids in the program, 7 are Chisholm. So when you do the math, I don't understand it. Me,
Okay.
I would love to see it be a Chisholm sport and have the kids be proud to be Chisholm. I also know that our summer program that we just took on for the youth through the city, there's 120 kids signed up. And when you look at how many kids actually do not play sports that did play soccer, I do think that it would be a growing program for us if we hosted it. We would have more than 7 kids. Because not everybody plays football, volleyball, or swims. And it's only girls swimming in the fall.
And you're saying like with a co-op with Hibbing where their kids could come play,
Yeah,
obviously.
but Travis also talked about having that conversation with Hibbing to do a 3-year transition where it's not fully ours right away, to see how that works and work it out that way too, to see if it's gonna work instead of just jumping in.
So that, to me, it sounds so typical of Hibbing. You take our 700 kids and add your 10 kids and you pay for it. Sorry, but that's how I feel.
Don't we pay for our
We
kids
would,
to
yeah,
stay?
so.
So that's not how collaborative sports work though, so
No, it's not.
But, so here's the thing though, when you collaborate, and this is what I realized in one of their school board meetings, there's a lot of, people don't understand how this works. So when I sign my kids up to play soccer, I sign them up in Hibbing.
With
Hibbing
their
gets the
cost.
money,
Oh, yes.
No, I get
Chisholm gets
that.
no money.
Right.
And then of those 7 kids that were signed up last year, then Hibbing sends Chisholm a bill for the busing and the
Percentages,
coaching.
yep.
And then Chisholm, where did they get that money? Now it's gonna flip flop. Let's just say all 80 kids signed up. Cause there is quite a few of the, I will tell you, I can speak on behalf of the girls soccer team. I mean, a lot of those girls are coming back regardless of where they play because they love the game. I mean, those are diehard, there's quite a few of those girls are diehard
Yes,
soccer
But
players.
that's what you say. That's not what's gonna come back. That's all I'm saying. I mean, we gotta be careful with this move. This would be something that
Well,
has
how
to
much
be
is the overhead
way-
for us to get a soccer field together, get the coaches? And
Yeah.
that's, I mean, you get the money, but is it going to end up
Well,
being?
Travis also said it's a conversation to have with the city, with those different
the
fields.
one thing
some
too,
type of thing,
you have to
yeah.
remember that we are redoing our football field.
Mhm.
Not,
In a year, so
We
we
have
haven't
to.
made a decision,
Well,
but
the
the
problem is-
conversations, a year from this spring, we would start on that, and we can't use it that year at all, even in the fall. So when they redo it, according
But even
to
football, we gotta find something.
other coaches, or I should say other schools that have redone their fields in grass, and they've just basically recrowned it and started over,
Right.
they don't use it that year. The couple that we've talked to have done it, so the brand.
So then that would be a whole year, neither soccer or football would be.
Football, we're already planning to fall at
Yeah.
26, probably, playing, hopefully we can rent nearby fields, play
Right.
home games in another town, if that makes
And luckily, there's only like 4 home games, maybe you can get an away season.
sense. Well, you,
You know, they could have like 2 home games.
So those are- you know, I'm glad Mr. Morrison brought this up.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that we're thinking about, and it's not necessarily negative, they're challenges.
They're
Challenges, yeah.
I thought that with where this building is, we're gonna have a big green space field for practice field, and I thought somebody said soccer, but maybe not.
we had hoped, at one point, we had talked about putting a football field right there, and then
Like
it
practice
wouldn't
field.
fit. It doesn't quite fit. You can do a practice field, and that is kind of one of the ideas.
Soccer thing.
So,
Right.
yeah, when
Now
we
it's
get to
maybe
that
it's a
point,
football.
we can practice, you could have a team practice there, at least one anyway.
So
As long as
something,
nothing changes to the green space.
I don't want to belabor this too long, so it's something
Yeah.
that this board has got to think about and generate some.
Yeah, because I wouldn't wanna see the
Questions.
kids miss out either. I mean, soccer's important to many people. I get
Especially
that.
with as many kids in a section.
Oh, I think the biggest problem that soccer has around here is that when they're young, they play in the spring and then it flops to the fall, and so nobody follows.
But here's the thing is, it's never been advertised.
Yeah.
And that's where I will fight, I mean, we have been part of the soccer program in town, Chisholm,
Right.
from kindergarten, or from first grade. We did not know that there was an option for our kids to play past sixth grade, it was a big secret. And nobody knew, and until Travis became AD, that's when it started advertising. At one point, we had one Chisholm girl playing soccer.
Yeah,
And
no,
it has
and no
grown
boys.
to 5 and 2 boys. So, because it's getting out there, Travis gets it out there, he's advertising and he's letting people know. Where before it was a big secret, like you couldn't, nobody knew what you did after sixth grade. We didn't know what to do after sixth grade.
Oh, yeah, no.
And-
Was it not a co-op back then, or no?
It's always been a co-op,
Oh, it has been.
but it's never been advertised, it's never been out there, it's been some big secret for some reason instead of
Well,
making sure
and
kids
the
have
seasons again,
opportunities.
you flop when you get older, so it's kind of odd too, because people might say you have a girl that already is joined swimming or volleyball in fourth grade and doesn't realize that now she wants to play soccer, you know, you have to make a choice. Boys who are playing soccer then don't play baseball, because by the time they realize oh wait, that's not the right season, they haven't played baseball for years. So it's just the way that they do their spring stuff or their youth stuff is just a little bit backwards. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have it in 2 different seasons, it really messes up people following it through. And then
Yeah.
it hurts other sports as they get older, because either they have to pick or choose soccer or volleyball or baseball or soccer, or, you know, like, what are you gonna do?
Swimming and soccer.
Swimming and soccer,
Swimming,
football.
yeah.
Well, I can honestly tell you that one of the applicants that wants to be the head coach for girls, she has come up to me multiple times, because she was made aware of this from the AD. And so she came up because she knows my kids play. And she said she is more than willing to push practices back so that there is a swimmer, a girl swimmer that wants to do, they could do both, because our district allows you to be in 2 fall sports.
And some places don't, but I.
And some places don't, so
That's
she
really
said she's
good.
willing to work with the district, everything if we were to, cause she said she wouldn't wanna take away from our other stuff either.
Yeah, I always thought that's one of the biggest challenges that sport has, because you start young kids, and then when you get to a certain age, number one, they didn't know where to go or what to do. And it was a completely different season, spring and fall, like just completely different. It's just weird. That's just my 2 cents on soccer. They set it up weird, that's
Like they're all good points.
I see how.
It's your side, it's the other side, so you want the kids to have the opportunity, but.
Yeah.
Can we afford it?
Yeah, that's.
But maybe the city, maybe they'll come up with a sports complex after all. We've
Wrap
been
it,
talking about it for years.
wrap it up.
Yeah.
So,
And that was
the question I have is, okay, you got all these kids from Hibbing, we got a few from Chisholm. They want us to take it, we hire the coaches. What's Hibbing's responsibility for the salaries of those coaches and for the transportation when they have the majority of the kids in the program? I'm not against it, I just wanna know where are they coming from? What are they looking at for this?
Where's
So-
their savings?
Yeah, that is true, where's the savings?
Well, they wouldn't have to pay the fee that they rent the fields from the city.
That's the
like they say.
biggest thing.
Our coaches
Yeah.
cost a little bit less, a few thousand overall, if you're talking.
Yeah.
Why don't they petition
Or
the city
coaches.
for a better deal? That's weird. That seems like
Somebody
an
asked
easier
me-
solution for them, is like,
Morris
why
and
is
I
the
were on
city,
the phone the other day and I
why
literally
is the
asked
city
them, like, this
charging
isn't
them
mapping for me.
so much money that they
Yeah.
would actually rather like go somewhere else, and it just seems so.
I just remember when they did the whole drama thing together.
Oh, and transportation, yeah, because you gotta get them.
Oh, but this isn't a new collaboration.
Oh, no,
This
it's not
is-
new, it's just where they would do everything.
This is
yeah.
just a switch of who's the host.
But like our 7 kids have to get over there for practice and to get on the buses and stuff, they would have like, what, 70? That have to come this way, like, you know,
They have to get to the
It's-
parents.
parents again.
It
Kids
might
still
be
teams.
worth, getting Hibbing's viewpoint right in front of us here.
Yeah.
And then we can ask more questions.
Yeah.
I mean, you want the kids to participate, that's not the issue here.
It may be something to actually have Noah, even ask Travis, like rough budget, like roughly, like what would the what would our cost be for the school, like that type of thing, just
The
to.
problem is we also need to think, something needs to happen sooner rather than later with this, because the season starts in August. And Travis also told me that if we become the host, we have to sign up a month before the season starts with the Minnesota High School. So
Because you're switching it, yeah.
Soccer ended in the fall last year. If this was even in talks, which I've heard throughout things over the year, and that's another reason why I was pushing collaboration meetings. And now I'm done doing that after their recent school board meeting. I will not be pushing collaboration meetings. I think it's a good idea for us to have a collaboration committee when we collaborate, but apparently not other people think that. So, but why did they not come to us in the fall, giving us enough time to do just that, come up with numbers, come up with things? Why wait and be like, all right, Chisholm, come on, let's do this. That was my frustration, is you've got 1 month,
And did the
I
bill from
guess
the.
I'll-
not even.
Oh, yeah, not to blame.
I'll be devil's advocate on that. I mean, they had a lot of issues they were dealing with over there. And this may have fallen to the back.
Inside, right, it's a, yeah.
They're talking about positions.
Losing teachers and
And
everything.
so I won't begrudge
People
them
are losing.
coming
I
to us
agree
now.
with them.
But again, just to wrap this up, we all have questions, it sounds like, and these are some things that Mr. Morrison and Mr. Baki are gonna have to get answers to.
I guess I'd also like to hear, if we don't host, what happens to that for those 80 kids? Because that's 80 kids, so if we don't take it on, is Higgins going to cut it? I mean, they're saying they're not, but do we really wanna take that away from a bunch of
None
kids?
us to worry about. Let's just figure out what's going on. We can't worry about those 80 kids right now. That's not our, we're worried about the 8 that maybe will lose soccer, we don't. I'm just sorry, I'm just not all that concerned about what, that's Hibbing's deal. That really isn't ours. We have to decide if we are able to host the soccer program. That's what we have to decide. So. Okay.
Ms. Morrison, anything else?
No, well, I know they wanted an answer by early June, because obviously we can't sit on this, so I think my answer for this fall would probably be no.
Yeah.
But, I mean, but I guess,
I don't think we have
Right.
enough time to figure it out.
We can't, it's hard to pull this thing together.
It is.
We can't go like
Maybe
this.
some of the parents need to go to the city and say, can you give Hibbing a
A break
discount
for this fall,
until,
and then you can actually.
until they get things figured out? I mean, but,
You can.
yeah. But, oh well.
Give them a raise, whatever, jacked up rate that you're.
Our program's playing in Keewatin, Nashua, or Keewatin?
Any other discussion that board members would like to bring up? School just had their kickball tournament day today.
Yeah, how'd it go?
On the lighter side,
Oh, they did.
yeah, it was up at the softball field, which was kind of nice.
Thursday they have their,
Baccalaureate, or about,
no, baccalaureate, is baccalaureate tomorrow? Are they having a baccalaureate? Does anybody even know?
Thursday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, so
So tomorrow.
graduation Friday night,
Great.
staff's last day is Friday, they're done at noon, well, the teachers are done at noon.
They have their big bond play.
Oh, yeah, the end of summer
And the
party.
summer
oh,
party.
yeah, the blow up stuff.
I
Hopefully
think
it's not
the
only
board-
just.
Jessica's on
board is
the
invited to the
donkey.
barbecue or whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't, I
At
know.
the bond meeting, the end of summer party?
There's a barbecue, all staff are invited to the, garage,
Oh,
bus garage.
the bus garage, we do that every year. They do.
Every year, 11:30-ish, I think it is, so.
Yeah, I think they're celebrating the retirees there too.
Oh, that's
A
good.
little bit.
Yeah.
A few,
Because,
they usually do.
yeah, because it just wasn't time to get together a party because they didn't know anybody was retiring until last week.
That's it,
Anything else? In motion to adjourn,
I will so motion.
Mr. Raha, or Director Raha,
Support.
Director Carly Simon. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries, time is.
I'll put this, carry it over.
Thank you.